People are here. All right, everybody. I'm Stellar. I am a Nadar. I've been a Nadar since 2018. It was me, Cross, Oakhart, and Igua, if you know any of those names. I founded the race. We're all trees. Some of us are undead, some of us are human, all of us love nature. That's kind of the through line. This class is designed for giving an explanation of diagonal, which is the Nadar Runescript. I don't want to call it a language because you can't conjugate verbs. It is a series of letters for you to communicate with your fellow Nadar, or to find out in the wild, or to use a mixed media. I'm going to be going through in this class three main things. First off, I'm going to explain how I came up with that. What is the process that I went through in terms of making a script, how I wanted to tie it into the culture of the Nadar in general. Then we're going to be doing a little bit of a theory where I'm teaching the letters themselves. You're going to practice writing them on your piece of paper. And then finally, once y'all are ready, we're going to be moving into a practical exam. Not really an exam, but an opportunity for you guys to practice writing on something that isn't paper. So I've got mixed media here, I've got embroidery ready, I've got a little piece of leather and leather burning materials, and I've got sticks and wood burning materials and a knife if you want to get kind of feral with it.
No.
Yeah.
No, not him.
He's banned.
Fox gets the knife first. Alright. So, the Runescript, I'm going to start by telling a story. Before there was any life on this planet, there was just a ball of rock floating in the void. And there was a goddess named Alasia. And Alasia wanted there to be things in the world that populated it and made it interesting and beautiful and bountiful. So she created all of the plants and the animals. But there was a big problem. Whenever she looked at a plant and animal, it did everything it was supposed to do. You know, the plants grew, they collected sunlight, the fish swam in the rivers, all of the normal things you expect. But the minute she turned around to create something else, they started fucking off. Right? The deer would start standing up on two legs, shit would start getting wonky, the plant would grow upside down, it was all bullshit. They don't listen. So, to solve that issue, she spoke into existence these runes. And when she spoke, they appeared in the minds of the animals, and they learned what they were supposed to be doing. They weren't the greatest at listening at first, so she took a bit of her essence, and she mixed it with the void above, and created a spirit station that would later become us. And our job, mainly, is to look at things forward. Now, if something's fucking up, it's our job to make it. Because of its nature as a spoken language, being translated into a rune script, I wanted it to be phonetic in a way, not traditionally phonetic, where a letter is a sound, but organized in a phonetic way where when you hear the letter, you can picture in your mind a shape related to that letter. So all of the letters in the English language that have their own rune in here are sorted by sound. So, if you'll take a look at this paper, these are going to be our whole alphabet. We're going to be going through these in groups of three. Starting off with the biggest rune, this one right here. This is the symbol of the entire language. It just represents the whole language. Shield, that's how most things are started, or if you want to write something down, you'll put it as a hex to let people know that there's going to be this. Starting off, we have our first letter group, which is ow. It contains a couple of the letters that are mostly U and O based. So we're starting off with U and W, and then O and Q. I will be passing this around for you guys to write down later. I'm going to go through this and then we're going to move forward. Second off, we're going into the AE group. So, these are all the letters that sound like So, we got letters like J, K, H, R, all of the ah noises. And you move on through the rune system, moving into all of your S, F, M, N, and then finally we're working our way into the EI group, which is going to be all of your letters that sound like C, B, E, G. Anything that has that I on it. The orientation of the letters isn't so necessary. I like writing it down like this because it makes sense on a phonetic level. When you're trying to remember a letter, you think of the noise and you think of the shape related to it. I'm going to pass this around, and then I'm going to let you guys take a look at this. And if you have any questions, the process for coming up with the language was a lot of experimentation, actually. I wanted to have a script that was rooted and was easy to write in the context that a Nadar would write. Right? We're spirits of nature. We want to be writing things on wood. We want to be writing things on animal hide. We wouldn't really be using paper for it. I wanted a rune system that used a lot of straight lines, was pretty easy to carve into stone, and wouldn't really require a whole lot of complex curves or shapes. Because of that, you kind of represent a system of what is essentially a single long line, a single short line, and a single even short line. Does anybody have any questions about the organization of the line? Yes.
I see that almost all of them are 3 lines.
Yes.
Is 3 special in a particular reason? I know there are numbers that are important to some reasons. I didn't know if 3 was like an important number for the Nadar.
There are 3 original branches of the Nadar, but I didn't pick 3 for a numerological reason. I picked 3 because it honestly was one of the easiest things to embroider. I started this from an embroidery perspective.
Accidental thing exists in 3s.
What?
Everything in nature exists in 3s. You don't see flowers born with 2 petals, you see 3 petals. Clovers are so rare. They grow in groups of 3.
That makes a lot of sense.
We accidentally did something.
Yeah. No, that was actually super intentional, guys. Planned from the start. Yeah, triangles are the best shape. Hexagons are just 6 triangles, right? All right. Now, that's getting passed around pretty good. Now, the next thing I want to go into is shortening, or it's a bit of a cursive, if you can think of it like that. It lets you link 2 letters together, because if you don't do that, the script gets incredibly long-winded. And I like making things easier to write rather than harder. Can I get that little piece back for me?
I'm getting this metal.
All right. So, can everybody see this when I'm holding it up? So, this is the symbol for our language. You'll notice that this contains all of the potential shapes of any of the letters underneath it. It's called a poneglyph. I can't remember the terminology. But you are going to be shortening letters by splitting it into 2 halves. There's the front and then there's the back. If you have letters after each other that share a shape, you can actually erase the shared shape. So, in this instance, you have a D and you have a B right next to each other. So if it was DB, I would write the D normally, and And then, since there's already a diagonal line here, I'm going to actually mix that line and put the other part of D behind it. Now, if that mixing would render the letter unrecognizable, you don't do that. Or do it at your own peril. Somebody might not be able to read your shit, but that's up to you. You know? You can also do that with the back half of the letter. You'll see here if we have two D's in a row, double D's if you will, you can actually mix the back half of the first letter if the letter after it shares the back half. So basically, if you see a line where something is obviously erased, look to the direction that it was erased. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions for that? Wonderful. All right. I think I've done a pretty good job of explaining the base of the language. I'd like to break a little bit of practice.
Before that, could you show us how you would write it? Like,
I don't know.
Absolutely.
Like you write a word?
That's a great idea.
Are there like breaks in between the words?
Normal spaces. All right. Does anybody have a word they want me to write?
Nadar.
Nadar? Easy. All right.
Good job.
N.
yeah, I see this.
All right. And then you do A. You've already got this, so it's not necessary. So you just do the straight line, and then you have another D. So D. And then another A. And then you have an R, which is the same shape as A, but it's got a line here. So you actually go. That's an R.
Huh.
Can you hold that up so everybody can see it?
Yeah. Anybody have any other letters they want me to write?
Goblin.
Goblin. All right.
No particular reason at all.
You're not biased.
This doesn't even taste like curry. This tastes like chicken broth.
I cannot stand curry. I've been in too many apartments that are just saturated with smell. Even if it does feel great, the chemicals can't go over
Yeah. I had up its others.
Yeah.
There are
And the
drinks.
one thing I should have actually talked about in the first section, but I'm going to cycle back to it because it's the first time I'm teaching the class. Nadar traditionally is written within a creature's soul, right? Alatia spoke the words, they became shining divine fire, and they went into the souls of all of the creatures that listened. When you find it written within something, you usually find it written around the border of something. So if you would cut the tree in half, you'd see it written in all of the rings of the tree. You can see it, right? If you see it on a shield, it's a little thick, but you can see it's written around here. I'm going to take this one back. Oh, yeah. You can see around the rim of the shield, it's lined. I would have to sit down and translate that. It's been like 6 or 7 months since I wrote that down, and it's not very meaningful. I just started writing it. And then, if you're not going around the edge of something, normally you follow the lines of something, or the grain of something. I like working with a lot of wood. If you can see my staff, along the cracks in this wood is the right. I'm going to pass the staff around, but I'll want to take a look at where we described upon.
So you try to go with the variety
Yep.
of the wood. That's smart. I like that.
And when you read, you're going to follow the top and then the bottom.
That's pretty cool.
Yep. If it is a circular base that you're writing within, it can get pretty messy. You don't know where to begin reading for a lot of people. The easiest way to resolve that is if you see the symbol of the entire language, that's a good place to start. If you see the symbol of Alasia, that's also a great place to start. The symbol of Alasia, I'm going to write it down. I've got it fucking on here. I'll probably just take this off for you guys. This is my seal.
Can you talk a little bit about what the seal is?
Absolutely. So, as Nadar, we are spirits inhabiting physical bodies. Our essence doesn't really want to stay in a physical body that much. It doesn't like being in here, so we need something to keep us inside. And that thing for the vast majority of Nadar is a seal like this. Any piece of leather is the general preferred, but it could be a cloth or metal or an amulet of some sort, as long as it has our symbology, which in this case, this is the symbol of Alasia. You can see it right in the center, and then it has some runes on it. For me personally, I write down character lore or poetry, or I really like writing down character aspirations or goals onto my seals to give me a sense of direction in my character. The first one here is a poem I wrote a long time ago. It starts as "Spread the forest, find the owl," and that was one of my first main goals as Nadar. I'm working towards executing it. I'm going to pass that around. It helps give me a sense of identity, and that's what the seal is for, is to keep the soul within us and maintain our identity as a Nadar and as a person who is caretaking the natural world. Alright, well that's a little bit about the seal. Nice. I've talked about the cultural context, we've talked about the letters, we've got pictures of all of the alphabet for all y'all. I'm going to kind of open the room to questions, and then we're going to break into one-on-one support and practical. Alright? So, does anybody have any general questions for me about the Nadar, about language, about literally anything? What's my favorite color? I don't care. No? Wonderful. I am a quaking aspen. Also sometimes known as a poplar tree. I love that kind of tree. If you've heard about the pando, it's my favorite natural phenomenon. There is a grove of quaking aspen trees in Fish Lake National Park, Utah, that is the oldest and largest living organism on the planet. It's a rhizome. So instead of dropping seeds that create a new tree, it just shoots down a root. That root pops out of the ground, starts a new genetic clone of the tree with the same root system. It has been rooting and sprouting for, I think, 70,000 years. Yeah. And it's, I think, 500 acres of living organism interconnected. It's beautiful. I've gone to see it once. I need to go back again. Any other questions? No? Wonderful. All right, I'm going to start breaking into the practicum now. So, if you have any questions about writing the language, I can help you one-on-one. But if you want to really sink your teeth into writing something on your own, I'm going to show around all of these physical materials and then pass them out for you to interact with.
Can you have pens?
Yeah, I got a bunch of green, different kinds of pens, and I've got a fuck ton of Sharpies. Yeah. I'm just gonna pass this box around. Send this down. Come on, you're like that's good green, man. Alright. We also have 2 embroidery hoops if you want to practice embroidering the language. We have a piece of leather if you want to practice leather burning, which is how I make my seal. All of that is leather burning. Yeah! I brought random sticks from the woods outside.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
My wife's bringing it. It'll be here like an hour.
Well, I mean, I'd love to help you. You can do that. That wood burner's not going anywhere. Also, the wood burner is hot. So if you want to start burning some wood or leather, you can do that right now.
Don't burn yourself, though.
No.
We're not liable.
Nope. I didn't see it. I will turn my back on you if you burn yourself. For like 5 minutes. I have plausible denials. Alright. Does anybody want one-on-one help? Wonderful. And does anybody want to interact with any of those materials? Perfect. Which one would you like to interact with? Okay. Yeah. Yes?
You have a pen right there. You can print it out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pause your recording.
Wonderful.